2024 election is pretty boring in a lot of ways right now. I mean, I'm bored with all of it at the moment. There isn't much excitement, at least not yet. I mean, there isn't much drama in the races we're watching, is there? We know where this is headed. It's almost certain. Former President Donald Trump is leading his primary challengers by a mile. And there's no way that's even reaching double digits in any polling recently. And even with 91 pending charges, it doesn't look like anything is going to change anytime soon for Trump. His bedrock support is above 40%. And the latest poll from CBS News showed him with that magical number of 50% in a head-up matchup with Joe Biden. So it looks like he will be a shoo-in. In fact, after a sit-down interview with NBC News and Kristen Welker, the media at large is just lamenting why they should talk to him at all. Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's just the former president, could easily become only the second president in history to be elected to non-consecutive terms. Yeah, the other was back in the late 1800s when Grover Cleveland pulled it off. The only other former president to run was Teddy Roosevelt. That was 1912, and he finished second in that race, but was running as an independent. There's your history lesson. So here we have a guy on the cusp of making history again, and the only man that before being president never served in government at all. In fact, Herbert Hoover was the only other president elected that had not run previously for elected office or been a military officer before becoming president himself. Oh, and speaking of boring, really boring, Joe Biden is sleeping his way through another election cycle with no significant challengers, but that's because the Democrats don't want any challengers in the primaries, at least not yet. You see, under the twisted rules of the Democrat Party, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. would have to haul in something like 70% of the vote to overcome the superdelegates that can basically vote for anyone they want, which is weird. I mean, Kennedy, in many respects, is a good candidate for the Democrats. He believes in the welfare state. He hates guns. But he also believes in some things that they don't anymore, like the freedom of speech. And he thinks the COVID lockdowns were unconstitutional, and he hates the surveillance state, too. So he is on the outs with the party. Not to mention he decided to run, and he did not have permission from the power brokers to pull a stunt like that. So he is going to be punished. So Joe is also up by a mile, and he can maintain any semblance of being in control of himself. He'll be renominated. But the faithful are sure getting nervous, aren't they? Because they know he is not running at full speed anymore. You know, a sandwich short of a picnic. And it scares the hell out of the blue team. But with Trump and Biden both ahead by 50 points or more of their respective fields, a rematch is today the most likely scenario for 2024. And right now it appears President Trump would win that contest because Biden is losing support from all sectors, and it's getting worse by the day. For example, the warning signs concerning black voters leaving Joe Biden and the Democrats are getting a lot more frequent. Listen to this.
I know that you're a Democrat. You're more conservative Democrat, right?
Yes.
Who do you like in this election?
I think I'm mostly geared towards Donald Trump.
Really?
I think I have seen the pullout of Afghanistan from Joe Biden, and then I watched him check his watch during the funeral of the servicemen. And I think if we were to go to a war, I'm prime age to be drafted, and I don't want him to check his watch while they're burying me. I don't believe that he's a competent commander-in-chief, and then he'd probably blame my death on climate change in the same way he blamed the pullout in Afghanistan on Donald Trump.
Wow, that is so harsh. I don't want him looking at his watch while they bury me, and my death will be blamed on climate change. The disenchantment among black voters for Democrats and Joe Biden specifically is growing by the day. And look, this is the kind of thing that's coming front and center every day. The media throws curveballs at Trump. Biden eats ice cream and lays on the beach while they give the old man a pass on everything. And it's getting so bad that all of those never-Trumpers on the right and the left are scolding anyone who decides to even interview the former president.